Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my April
Nope, that's not correct.
my March TBR. I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I'm very happy that it's springtime, but I cannot wait to tell you all about all of the books that I'm anticipating reading this month in March. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Obviously, my first book that I am super excited to be reading in March is my book club book. If you don't know, I have a book club over on Patreon. Since we don't have a sponsor for this video, I'm just gonna take a moment to tell you about Patreon. It's a really fun community where we can just spend a little bit of extra time together, develop a deeper relationship, and we have so much fun over on Patreon, especially if you are wanting to read something along with me. I have a book club on Patreon, and every single month we read the book together. We have an exclusive reading vlog where I read the book club book, and then we have a live discussion at the end of the month or like at the beginning of the next month. It is so much fun, and my top tier has even more stuff. We have movie nights. They have an exclusive video every single month. It is a lot going on over there at all times, and I love it. So if you did not know about my Patreon, now you do, and if you want to join, the link will be down below. So the first book that I'm going to be reading in March is our book club pick for March for the Pretty Girl Book Club, and that is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. I don't know how I haven't read this book yet. Everyone has been telling me to read it. I've been resisting trying her out, Miss Freida McFadden, so much because can we just take a look at this cover?
It's horrible. It's atrocious.
And the thing is, I am a materialistic girl. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I'm not materialistic. I will buy a book if it's a pretty cover most of the time, even if I'm not super interested, over a book that I am interested in that has an ugly cover. I will just find a PDF file on the internet, get it off Kindle Unlimited, whatever. But the books that I own, I want to be pretty, and I always prioritize my physical TBR over something else. So I don't end up reading a lot of books with ugly covers. And that's why I haven't gotten around to Miss Freida McFadden. But not only am I reading this for my book club, I'm also doing a vlog for the main channel where I am doing a taste test of a bunch of Freida McFadden's books. And that is following this maid who works for this rich family, and she's getting fed up with them. She's noticing like the matriarch of the household is just creating messes so she can watch her clean them up, which is like so fucked up. And she fantasizes about being this rich lady instead of being the maid. So she tries on her employer's dress and she gets caught. And then she figures out that the room that she stays in this rich people's house has a lock from the outside. So they take their maid prisoner. I don't know. It seems really crazy. Apparently there's a lot of twists. And I will also be reading The Housemaid's Secret, which we're also discussing in my book club. And that is the follow-up to The Housemaid, the sequel, which I believe just recently came out. Also for my Freida McFadden taste test vlog, I'm reading The Ex, which is very vague in plot. Also
Horrific cover. Like, I cannot look at that.
It's talking about this couple, and this girl just thinks her boyfriend is so infatuated with her. It's this perfect relationship, but she knows that the person that he was dating before her is like this mystical, mysterious, magical, perfect girl, and she's worried about the ex still being in the picture, and little does she know, she is. The whole thing with Freida McFadden is that her books are apparently super twisty, so I guess we will see what happens with that. And then the last one that I think I'm gonna put in that vlog, I don't know, I might end up changing this one out, but reading through all of her synopses, the one that intrigued me the most was Do You Remember? And this sounds really similar to something like Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney or Stranger in the Mirror by Liv Constantine, and I really enjoyed both of those. Basically, this woman wakes up with no memory of who she is. All she knows is that there's this man in front of her saying, I'm your husband, you've been in an accident, da. And she's like, sure, let me just go ahead and believe you, until she finds a text on her phone that says, do not trust the man who says he's your husband. That sounds really intriguing to me. It sounds like that classic thriller plot. structure that I love. So we will see about Miss Frida McFadden. The taste test begins in March. Another pretty popular thriller author that I've actually never read from is Zoe Stage. So I'll be doing a taste test vlog for her books as well, starting with Baby Teeth. And y'all know I love a creepy ass child. That is like my favorite trope in any thriller, horror, whatever. I love a creepy child. So in this book, we're following Hannah and Suzette. Hannah is 7 years old. She's sweet, but she's silent, and she is an angel in the eyes of her father. He's the only person who understands her, but her mother, Suzette, stands in the way, and she's going to try any trick she can think of to get rid of her for good. Suzette is increasingly frightened by Hannah's little games, and the husband appears to remain blind to the family dynamic, so Suzette starts to fear that maybe their supposedly innocent baby girl has a sinister agenda. This sounds exactly like The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. I think that's why I haven't picked it up, because I love that book so much. I just don't know how this one is going to measure up or possibly compare, but I guess we will see in the vlog. Also, I'm buddy reading both of these Zoe Stage books that I'm going to tell you about with my friend Rainey. She has a channel. I love her so much, so I'm going to link her down below. Everyone, please go check out Rainey. I love her so much, and I will obviously be giving our little buddy read thoughts in the vlog. But the other book we're going to be reading together for that taste test is Mothered by Zoe Stage, and this one just came out. It's her new release. It's about another mother and a daughter situation, this time an adult mother and daughter, and they are quarantining together, and the synopsis is very vague. It's just like when two personalities combine and you have to be trapped in a house quarantining with your mother. It's just like a powder keg gonna explode. It's gonna go into like psychological thriller vibes, family trauma. I'm here for it. Now, I have another taste test that I maybe will film this month. Maybe it will go just up on Patreon. I'm not sure. If I have time for it, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't. This is kind of like more of a left up to chance kind of thing, but I am going to put it on my TBR. And that is a Sally Hepworth taste test, because she is another thriller author that is pretty popular that I haven't read from. I definitely want to read The Good Sister if I end up doing that vlog. And this is a very convoluted synopsis. Opposite of the vague synopses from Zoe Stage and Frida McFadden, this is very convoluted. Basically, this sister duo, they have a very weird relationship. Rose is one of the sisters, and she discovers that she can't get pregnant. So Fern, who has like had this giving relationship with Rose, like Rose has given Fern a lot, Fern sees her chance to pay her sister back by being her surrogate. They just need to find a father for Rose's child that Fern is going to carry. So she's on a mission, and this mission will shake the foundation of the life she's carefully built for herself and stir up dark secrets from the past. Like, what does this even mean? I have no idea. And then I also have the new release from Sally Hepworth from Book of the Month. This is The Soulmates, and this just looks like the perfect vibe that I'm wanting for the month of March. If y'all been watching my vlogs, you know I've been laying out, getting my tan on, feeling my full summer fantasy, even though it's just spring.
Shh, I know, I'm gaslighting myself into thinking it's summer for the serotonin alone.
So this is giving me that summer energy, and this plot sounds so good. It's about this couple who lives in this idyllic cottage on this cliffside by the beach, and it's just like perfect. They have this perfect marriage. Everything is beautiful and wonderful, except the cliff where they live is a popular spot for people to unalive themselves. So it becomes the husband's like unofficial job to try to save these people and talk them down from the ledge, literally, until someone completes an unaliving, if you will, and the wife starts to question what went on here, because he's always successful at talking the people down. And she's like, why did you fail in this instance? And why do you have a personal connection in the past to this person? Were they pushed? Were they murdered? Did her soulmates convince this person to jump off the cliff? We will find out. So yeah, unsure if that vlog is gonna happen, but I'm gonna try my best. Now moving into probably my favorite part of my TBR. If you watched my most recent vlog, then you know that I am back in my romance era only due to Tessa Bailey. I love Tessa Bailey so much. She is my favorite romance author. I will eat up anything she does. So this is what I have. I have this entire 4-book series that she released in the last year or so, and it is the like
Too Blah for Blah series.
So I believe the first one is Too Hot to Handle. Then we have Too Wild to Tame, Too Hard to Forget, and Too Beautiful to Break. And these are all just like little smutty, summery romances that take place in the desert. I think Too Hot to Handle is the first one in the series. It says, when rescue looks a whole lot like trouble, the road trip was definitely a bad idea. Having already flambéed her culinary career beyond recognition, Rita Clarkson is now stranded in God knows where, New Mexico, with a busted-ass car and her 3 temperamental siblings who she hasn't seen in years. So each sibling gets a book. So cute. When rescue shows up in the form of 6 feet plus charming hotness on a motorcycle, Rita's pretty certain she's gone from the frying pan right into the fire. Jasper Ellis has a bad boy reputation in this town, and he loathes it. The moment he sees Rita, though, he knows he's about to be sorely tempted. There's something real between them, something raw, and Jasper only has a few days to show Rita he isn't just for tonight, he's for forever. Are you kidding me? This is gonna be so smutty, so funny, so bantery. It's like a chef queen who looks like an emo girl, and then a bad boy who's like,
I'm not really a bad boy, I'm a sweet boy.
yeah, I'm gonna be obsessed with this. And then all the other siblings have a book. So this one is about the black sheep of the family and a guy who is like suit on in the streets but then freaking the sheets. This one, ooh, this is giving like sports romance. Peggy, we're following sister Peggy, who is confronting Elliot Brooks, the man who ruined her for all others. After 3 years, seeing him again is like a punch in the gut. So it's like lovers to enemies to lovers vibes. And he is a football player. So she walks onto the practice field and into his life knowing she can unravel everything. I love it. And then this one is a second chance romance with the brother of the family who lost out on his one true love. They broke up, and he says losing Sage is not an option. His heart is hers, and it always has been, and nothing will stand in the way of telling her just how much she means to him. Oh, that's so cutie. So it's like a male pining kind of situation. Honestly, these are going to be super tropey, super fluffy, super smutty, and that is everything I want. I'm going on my bachelorette trip this month in March, and these are going to be the ones that I bring along while I'm at the beach at Palm Springs for a week. This is going to be everything. And that is actually not the only romance that I have on my TBR, if you can believe it. I also have Radiant Sin by Katie Robert. I love this series. This is part of the Dark Olympus series. I have been highly anticipating this book coming out, and it is finally here, and I have it in my hands. If you don't know about the Dark Olympus series, it's a like fantasy romance kind of retelling of Greek myths set in like an urban fantasy world that is the like,
You know, what is that city or whatever? Olympus? Hence it being called Dark Olympus. Okay, not my smartest moment. Let's just move on.
So this one, we are following Cassandra and Apollo. And these books are super, super smutty, super fun. I actually really enjoy the fantasy vibes in here, so obsessed. And the rest of the books on my TBR are just little random books that I would ideally like to read in the month of March, but I'm not sure if I will or not. Starting with Beyond Reach by Karen Slaughter. Okay. I know what you're thinking. This book has been on a million TBRs in the past year. I don't want to finish the series. Okay, this is the last book in the Grant County series by Karen Slaughter. I've read every single book in the series except for this last one because I keep putting it off because I don't want to finish it. But it's like, what's the point of putting it off? I'm not going to read any more Karen Slaughter until I read this one. So I need to just do it, bite the bullet, and do it. This is the conclusion to following our little small town in Georgia, where we're following the coroner / local town doctor and the sheriff and another little cop. It's like very small town detective vibes where some horrific crime takes place at the beginning of each book, and then we're following those 3 characters as they investigate and resolve it. They're always crazy, twisty, and dark in typical Karen Slaughter fashion. And in this book, The cop that we're usually following, Lena, is accused of a vicious murder. And the police chief that we usually are following is learning that his young detective has been arrested. And he goes along with Sarah, the town coroner, to get to the core of this bizarre murder case. It says this powerful novel races towards a shattering climax and a final unforgettable twist. I know that this is going to be the best book in the series. Like, we've already built up the character development so much that it can't not hit with the power of a million suns. I don't want to leave these characters, but I do need to finish the series. So hopefully I will get to it this month. I also found a random thriller at Target that I had never heard of. And this never happens to me, okay? I feel like nowadays I walk into a half-price bookstore, Barnes & Noble, a Target especially, and I've read every single thriller on the shelves. Like, it's very hard for me to find something that I haven't read at just like a normal store. But when I saw this, I was like, the wife before. Me thinking in my brain, I'm like, I think I've read a book like that, but not with this cover. So I picked it up, and then I discovered Shanora Williams is an author that I've never heard of who has a bunch of thrillers. So apparently this is the month of like discovering new thriller authors. And if I like this one, I'm gonna read her entire backlist, because this sounds so good from the synopsis. When I read it in the store, I was like, oh, hell yes. This is the trashy drama, rich people drama that I need. It's about an unsuspecting woman down on her luck who meets a pro golfer. He's wealthy, he's handsome, and he's caring, and she is just dazzled by him. Their relationship moves really fast, but when he proposes, she accepts, and she even agrees to relocate to a secluded Colorado mansion to live with him. Until she discovers long hidden journals in this mansion that belonged to his late wife, who died in a tragic accident, and she starts to realize that perhaps it was no accident at all. Perhaps her perfect husband is not so perfect. A shadow falls over her marriage, and she has to uncover the past wife secrets and maybe fear for her life. Sounds so good. I love this kind of thriller plot. Y'all know that. It's going to be a domestic thriller, rich people drama vibes. I'm in. Next up, I have a recommendation from my friend Matt at Matt the Page Turner. Everybody go over to his page. I will link him down below, and bully him in the comments and tell him to start posting videos again, because I miss his content. I love him so much, and he has the best book opinions, but he quit booktube, so everybody go bully him. No, just kidding. I'm obviously not being serious. We have a friendship where I can say that, so nobody cancel me in the comments. It's fine. I will blindly trust Matt's book recommendations. I feel like he knows my taste so well. So when he recommended me Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily Austen, I knew I had to pick it up, and it sounds so good. So it's described as a brisk, hilariously poignant novel about the fragility and magic of being alive. We are following our main character named Gilda, who cannot stop thinking about death. She is desperate for relief from this anxiety, so she responds to a flyer offering free therapy. But the guy at the church who's offering the free therapy, which...
This is not a therapist, okay? This is like pastoral counseling. I don't believe in that. That is fake news.
He assumes that she's there for a job interview and not the therapy. So then she ends up working as a receptionist at this church, even though she is not religious. It's like this whole fish out of water plot, and apparently it blends warmth, deadpan humor, and pitch-perfect observations about the human condition in a crackling exploration of what it takes to stay afloat in a world where your expiration and the expiration of those you love is the only certainty. This sounds so good. So good. You know what this is giving me? This is giving me like Kevin Wilson vibes, even with the cover. So very excited to jump into it, and I will let you know what I think. The last book that I'm curious about, and I just wanted to tack on the end of my TBR, is Slice of Cherry by Dia Reeves. I believe I got this recommendation from Jordaline. I love her channel. Y'all all probably know her, but if you don't, I will link her down below. And it says the tagline of this book is really what sucked me in. Happiness is a bloody knife.
Okay.
It follows two sisters, Kit and Fancy Cordell. They are best friends, best confidants, and best accomplices. The daughters of the infamous Bonesaw Killer, they're used to feeling like outsiders, and that's just the way they like it. And they are giving in to their desire to kill. What starts as a fascination with slicing open and stitching up spirals into a gratifying murder spree. But they're not killing just anyone, only the people who truly deserve it. And they've learned from their father's mistakes and know that only a shred of evidence could lead to them being caught. So when Fancy, one of the sisters, stumbles upon a mysterious invisible doorway to another world, she opens a door to endless possibilities. So this is like magical realism, female serial killer POV. Yeah, exactly. This sounds perfect for me. So those are all of the books that I'm hoping to get to in the month of March. I will probably only get to about half of them. I don't know. We'll see. Come back for my March wrap up. Subscribe for that and give this video a like if you enjoyed it and got a couple good recommendations. I hope you did. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.